What is up guys, Jarv here, back today jumping into Destiny 2. Now in today's video we're taking a look at an insane hand cannon that's really good right now, but will be absolutely insane when Be Online launches. So if you want to find out what this go-to hand cannon is possibly going to be, then be sure to stick around and check out the video. Now if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a rating down below, that super helps me out here on the channel. And if you're new here, which a lot of you are, as you can see 77% of my viewers aren't currently subscribed to the channel. So if you enjoy the Destiny 2 content and want to keep up to date with everything ahead of Be Online and beyond, then be sure to hit subscribe as well. But without further delay guys, let's jump into the video. Now before we jump into the meat of today's video, I want to first quickly invite you all to the Jarv Community Hub. We have 3,200 incredible Guardians as part of our Discord community right now. It's available to everyone and it's perfect for getting those fire teams together for anything you want to quickly get done before the start of Season 12, but also if you want to team up and get things done in Be Online. So if you're not a member already, be sure to jump in. You can find the link to our community Discord down in the video description below. Now over the last few weeks we've covered a lot here on the channel about some of the big changes coming in Be Online. This week at Bungie have provided a lot of those, and one of the biggest ones was the one we got last week when it talked about some of the sandbox changes and specifically some of the changes coming to hand cannons. Now one of the biggest changes is the merge of the 150 and 140 RPM archetypes. These are now be 140 moving forward, and it's with that in mind, as well as the range buff, that one of the weapons that we may have been sleeping on for quite some time may have its time in the sun. Now this weapon that we're talking about today is the Crimson. Now the Crimson is a kinetic exotic hand cannon. This one comes with the exotic intrinsic trait Banned Weapon, where this weapon fires a 3-round burst. It also has Cruel Remedy, where kills with this weapon heal the wielder and precision kills will refill the magazine. And it also has a unique perk called Heavy Grip, and this grip is weighted for recoil control, so it increases its stability but also decreases the handling speed. Now Crimson is based on Red Death back from Destiny 1, the exotic pulse rifle. It was introduced back in Curse of Osiris. Now since then it's never really had its opportunity to shine. In fact, it got a massive range nerf back in Shadowkeep. Astacross made a fantastic video covering this weapon as well. I'll be sure to leave a link to that down in the video description below. Now back in Shadowkeep, as a result of a massive nerf to hand cannon range, the Crimson was only able to deal optimal damage up to 27.5 meters, and prior to that though it could deliver damage up to 34.5 meters. So as you can see, a substantial nerf of 7 meters, which made this weapon very difficult to use, especially as auto rifles come to the forefront with some of the changes made back in Season of Arrivals. So looking forward then, what are hand cannons going to look like when Be Online launches? Well, lightweight frames have been folded into the adaptive frame, with only one exotic hand cannon retaining that 150 RPM. Unfortunately for us, that isn't the Crimson, but in fact that is the Sunshot. So with that being said though, what is Crimson and what archetype of weapon is it? Well, Crimson has a unique rate of fire of 415, but it does fire a 3-round burst, again a unique style of hand cannon. If you take the rate of fire and divide that by the amount of rounds that it fires, that gives you around 138 rounds per minute, which is about 140, which is going to be the main archetype going into the expansion. Now the main reason for the change is lightweight hand cannons represented the majority of hand cannon usage inside the Crucible, and whilst Bungie experimented with different ways to try and level those out, lightweight hand cannons consistently retained a faster time to kill, and as such they opted to equalise their rate of fire. Now they chose 140 RPM as they feel it's fairly balanced inside the Crucible, which gives other weapon archetypes more time to breathe between shots, avoids an overabundance of hand cannons with faster time to kills than any other weapon, and they also pair nicely with some of the up and coming changes to 600 RPM auto rifles, which are getting a slight nerf to their damage. Now with that all being said, Crimson's optimal time to kill is 0.87 of a second, which is bang on pretty much all adaptive frame hand cannons. So things like your old fashioned and better devils, they also have an optimal time to kill of 0.87 seconds. Now once again, looking forward, as a result of those changes, as well as a range buff pretty much across the board for most hand cannons, Crimson will once again have a damage drop-off range of approximately 35 meters. Now the real question here is, why would you want to use Crimson over any other archetype of hand cannon, especially as they're being unified within a 140 RPM archetype? Well, firstly, let's take a look at Crimson on paper. Statistically, it's one of the best, if not the best hand cannon inside Destiny 2. Obviously, it has an impact of 92. It has a range stat of 93. That's with the Catalyst, but it also has incredible stability of 97. Those three stats are standouts inside the whole adaptive frame category. It has a handling of 42, which even with the -10 that it has as a result of Heavy Grip is still on par with pretty much any other hand cannon inside that subfamily. And lastly, we have the reload speed, again 64. This is actually one of the highest across the whole adaptive frame archetypes. With that being said though, if you like high handling stats on your hand cannons, then you're going to need to look at some of the lightweight frames that get merged with 140 RPMs. They should retain their handling stats, which are in the mid 60 to 70 range. So as we can see on paper, Crimson is statistically the best hand cannon currently available. That's across all the lightweight frames, but also the adaptive frames, even after they're merged as 140 RPMs. Now, while Sunshot is still going to be the only 150 RPM hand cannon, it actually has one of the lowest range stats on any hand cannon currently available. So its optimal effective range is going to be very short, which potentially puts it at risk from other weapons, things like shotguns and sidearms. With that being said though, if you can land your shots with Sunshot, then it has an optimal time to kill of 0.8 seconds. So based on stats alone, Crimson has some of the best stats inside Destiny 2, but if we take a look at the hidden stats, it shines even brighter. It has an aim assist of 75, again one of the highest across any hand cannon currently inside Destiny 2. It also has maximum infantry size. This is to equate for the fact that it fires 3 rounds perfectly vertical, and it has one of the best recoil stats currently available. So overall, what we're looking at here is a hand cannon that has incredible range when beyond online launches of up to 35 meters, but also one that is incredibly stable even at range, and is one that you'll see plenty of, especially on console. At the moment, Crimson is excellent on console, especially using a controller, so fully expect this to feel even better once the DLC launches. So based on the stats, Crimson is very much primed to be meta come beyond light. In fact, it's still even now one of the most consistent hand cannons currently available, but better still, stats aside, there's not many other hand cannons currently available inside Destiny 2 which will heal you after each and every kill and also refill your magazine after each precision kill. If you can land your shots, then it keeps you in the fight for longer and you're more likely to come out on top. Now, it is entirely possible that Crimson could be manually tuned and singled out, as many other exotics were in a recent This Week at Bungie. But based on the information they've given us and what we know already about 140 RPM hand cannons and what Crimson is capable of inside the current sandbox, then it's entirely possible for this one weapon to be meta next season. If you don't have it, you can get it as a random world drop. If you're lucky though, then Xur may also often sell it on the weekend, so be sure to pay him a visit or stay stuck to the channel, as we do provide weekly updates on Xur's inventory right here. So there we have it, Crimson, what is lined up to be one of the best, if not the best hand cannon once we get our new sandbox update in Beyond Light. We are merely just over a week away from the expansion now, so news will be coming thick and fast. So as I said, be sure to stay stuck to the channel and I'll keep you up to date on a daily basis. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a rating down below. That super helps me out here on the channel. And if you're new here, which the majority of you are, and you enjoy the content and want to keep up to date, then be sure to hit subscribe as well. I'm going to jump back into the game as always, guys, but I will catch you all again very soon.